Live from downtown Vancouver at the Vancouver Film School campus, it's time for EP Live. Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool. Happy Wednesday to you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have a terrific show today. We've got a great guest. Benjamin Rivers is going to join us on the big screen over here from Toronto to talk about his brand new game, Worse Than Death. But first, we have a rundown to get to, and today we are dedicating it to Derek Spillay, who says he's glad to see Vic reviewing VR games again, but where are the clips of Vic actually playing the games? Those are the best part. I actually did shoot a bit of stuff on my phone, and I thought about sending it to Blake, but when I watched they're so totally not cool shots of me. I was like, oh my God, I don't want that to be out in the public eye. I was totally slobbing out with the hair everywhere and everything. You know what you look like when you're in VR. But I had some fun, and we're going to be talking about some VR stuff later on in the show. But first, let's get to Derek Spillay's rundown. A new version of Catwoman is going to sink her claws into Gotham City. The Batman director, Matt Reeves, has confirmed rumors that the film's new version of Catwoman will be played by actress Zoë Kravitz. She previously starred in the HBO series Big Little Lies and appeared in films like X-Men First Class and Mad Max Fury Road, and even voiced Catwoman in the animated Lego Batman movie. It's unclear how serious or campy the new live-action version of the character will be, but the film is expected to have a more noirish tone. Twilight's Robert Pattinson is already set to play the Dark Knight himself, and filming begins early next year. I can't really tell you too much about Zoë Kravitz as an actor. I saw some photos of her. She's beautiful. I think she'll be, sort of commanding the screen and has the presence to, capture all of our attention. But Matt Reeves, I trust. In Matt Reeves, I do trust. I think that guy is a great director, and I think he has cast his films wonderfully in the past. And the fact that she's already voiced Catwoman is very encouraging, and I'm getting very excited. I read on the like People Magazine or something like that, Michelle Pfeiffer has commented already and given some advice to Zoë Kravitz for playing the role of Catwoman, which is great. It's nice to see that torch being going. But you know what? Nobody is ever going to beat Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. She was the best, and you could fight me on that. Now, apparently, what's his name? Jonah Hill has, he's walked away. He's not going to be in the new At least that's what the rumor is right now. But, Spider-Man wasn't in the MCU for a while there, too. This might all be a ploy to get us to forget about Jonah Hill, and then he'll magically appear as the Riddler or something in the new Batman movie. I think that would be a fun watch. I would very much like to see Jonah Hill in anything. He's a great actor. But we'll see. I'm very curious to see how the rest of the cast, fleshes out for the Batman. You guys know I'm going to be there as early as possible to see this movie, and I'm coming around on Robert Pattinson as the Dark Knight. I think he's going to do a good job. This is the story I've been waiting to talk about all day. Analogue, the company that's revived classic consoles like the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, has set their sights on the Game Boy. They've announced the Analogue Pocket, a new device that runs classic Game Boy cartridges with no emulation. Analogue says it's compatible with all Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance cartridges out of the box. And on top of that, it will have optional adapters for other handheld systems like the Game Gear and Neo Geo Pocket Color, and the Atari Lynx is in there. There will also be an HDMI dock allowing you to play games on your TV screen. The Analogue Pocket lands next year, and I almost didn't want to talk about this because they're saying they're going to have limited quantities at launch, and I want one. I want one so bad. This is a dream, right? I've got a lot of these cartridges. They're just sitting there in my library. And there's some amazing games that we have just moved right on by. We're in the new generation. Now we have Switches that can play The Witcher, which we'll be playing a little bit later. But it's a crazy world that all of these great games have not been sort of playable on modern architecture. But here comes Analogue to the rescue. And I got to tell you something. You guys know I love the Mega SG and the Super NT. I am surprised. I mean, I've got this segment now, the 16-bit superhero segment, but I am surprised how much I go to those machines and I turn them on and I play and I have a blast with those systems. So I think I will be equally happy to have the Analogue Pocket and the dock. I think that just sounds amazing. Very excited for that. No news on pre-order dates or when all that stuff's going to go live, but it's going to be available in 2020, and it's $200 US for the Pocket itself, so super psyched. Now, it's looking more and more likely that the Merc with a Mouth has a future at Disney. Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds has released a photo of himself at Marvel Studios, apparently hinting that they've had meetings about future films. On top of that, Deadpool co-writer Paul Wernick has told EW that they've also had meetings with Marvel and hope to be able to keep their hard R rating in future films and maybe even use crossover characters from other Marvel movies. The Deadpool movies are now controlled by Marvel following Disney's acquisition of Fox, but no official announcements about what they plan to do with the franchise have been made. We'll let you know if that changes. Now, they announced a Blade movie is coming, which I can't wait for that. Mahershala Ali, is that right? Mahershala Ali, I love that guy, is going to be the new Blade. That's a movie that could definitely exist with a hard R rating. If they make a Moon Knight movie, that could have a hard R rating. And if they bring back the Punisher, and definitely they have to, what's the actor's name? John Bernthal. Yeah, they definitely got to cast John Bernthal. If they bring the Punisher back, that should have a hard R, and I'd love to see Bernthal and Ryan Reynolds mix it up on stage, right? Or on screen. That would be so killer. But it sounds like Ryan Reynolds, I mean, they've made so much money, and everybody loves those movies, and they love him as Deadpool, and he loves him as Deadpool. And Ryan Reynolds is kind of writing his own sort of check in his own future now. So it would be foolish for Disney to say, no, you were part of Fox, no, we can't do that. They got to keep this rocking and rolling, and they've got lots of characters that could be fun in a kind of a hard R setting. Certainly if they put Wolverine into the mix, that might be an amazing way to introduce a new Wolverine, and even throw in the Hulk and let him go real Hulk, like just smash something. That would be crazy. No Spider-Man hard R. Just tone that down, Star Trek. Well, Venom... They could throw, well, Venom's not in the MCU. Now we're getting all crazy. The idea that Marvel would own Spider-Man again would be crazy, right? Mark your calendars because Google has set a date for their cloud revolution. The new cloud-based game streaming service Stadia will begin rolling out in the U.S., Canada, and other countries on November 19th. It won't be available all at once, though. November 19th is the launch date for people who've ordered the $170 Founders Edition, which includes extra goodies like a controller and a Chromecast Ultra dongle. Oh, dongle, that's a fun word. But Google hasn't said exactly how long it will take for non-founders to be able to jump in. Once Stadia is up and running, users will be, presumably with the founders being the live beta testers, users will be able to access a library of games for a monthly subscription fee with all the number crunching done in the cloud, so you don't need to have a powerful machine to run AAA games. And Blake's question under the script bit here is, will Stadia really be a success? That is the big question mark, right? We don't know yet, but Google has stacked the deck with people. They've stacked the deck with partnerships. The fact that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be available here. I mean, some easy predictions, but now we have to see not only how they work with their partners, but also how they work with their own internal teams and what kinds of exclusives. It's weird that we're going to keep using the word exclusive when we're talking about online content like this, but they're paying for exclusive content. So we'll see how all of that stuff fares. But really, we just want to make sure that there isn't ridiculous lag when we try all this stuff out. I personally cannot wait to be one of those founder beta testers, and I'm hoping that it does work. I hope it rocks, and I think Google has done. Most of the storytelling has been about getting us interested, the people that are already invested in video games, that are already gamers. I can't wait till they pull some cards out of their sleeve and say, oh yes, but wait, there's more, because Google has the bucks. They can spend on more. I think there's going to be some interesting surprises, which will appeal to us, the hardcore players, the people that love the video game industry and are watching all of its news every day. But I think they're going to reach out to people that don't watch this stuff all the time, that don't know everything. The fact that Witcher 3 just launched on the Nintendo Switch, I think that they're going to be interested in getting families playing stuff affordably, and that content could be really, really incredible because it's going to be running on super fast hardware and it's just going to rely on your internet. That's the promise. Let's see if they'll deliver. We're going to know soon. Now, speaking of streaming services, if you liked Rogue One, Disney is forcing out more of the same. The new Disney Plus series, focusing on Rogue One hero Cassian Andor, has brought aboard filmmaker Tony Gilroy to write and direct multiple episodes. Gilroy oversaw the extensive reshoots and rewrites on Rogue One, so this time around we'll get to see what he can do working with the characters from square one. Diego Luna will be back in the lead role alongside Alan Tudyk as his robot sidekick K2SO. Shooting begins next year, and the show will be available exclusively on Disney Plus. And Blake hates this movie. He's not a fan of this. So his question under the script is, Cassian Andor an interesting enough character to sustain a TV series? Yes, he is. My argument with Rogue One is that's a movie that gets better with every viewing because there's lots of little details and so many characters. My problem seeing it the first time was like, who are these people? They were just thrown at you and then they're all dead. It's like, I don't know anything about it, but when you see it a few times, you start to recognize the nuance and the little details, and I like all of those characters, including Cassian Andor, who I thought was too skinny for his clothes in the movie when I first saw it, and Johnny Millennium, who I saw it with, was like, what are you talking? What a weird complaint. But I feel like the character does have some darkness and some virtue, and I love the actor. I think Diego Luna is a very interesting actor. I love Alan Tudyk. I have for a long time, ever since he was Wash on Firefly. Before that, he was in A Knight's Tale, and he was great in A Knight's Tale. He's one of those great performers where you can introduce him into anything, and he makes it better. And I'm psyched that K2SO gets to live again. I'm psyched that Cassian gets to live again, and we get to see a little bit of the backstory. And Tony Gilroy, everybody talked about Gareth Edwards, but this guy obviously put in a lot to make Rogue One rock. For those that feel like it did rock, I am one of those. I love that movie. So yeah, I am super excited about this, and it's one of the reasons why Disney Plus seems irrefutable right now, at least to me. All right, you guys, let me know what you thought about all of this stuff in the comments below. That's it for our rundown.